Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Gashi Scaman TV. Yesterday, Emeritus David Maraga appeared on Citizen TV and he was being interviewed about his presidential bid. And when I look at the Emeritus Chief Justice, I decided to give a critical analysis about this candidate because it is the people who should decide, and everybody has equal chance, and everybody should be given equal chance to sell his policy. You agree with me that the country is crying for change. You agree with me that this country requires what we would call a seismic shift from the way we are doing things. If you look at our country today, yesterday we were learning that the higher education loans board is actually broke, and we are worried that our good children, our good sons and daughters at the universities may not get the funding like they have been getting. Remember, the new entrants are actually going to the universities and TVET colleges in the month of September. So the fact that there are so many problems in this country, it means that there is need for change. It means that Kenya Kwanza has completely failed. Now, back to David Maraga. Is he a presidential candidate? When you look at him, does he look like a presidential candidate? Is he presidential? Does he behave presidential? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? And if elections were to be held today, would you vote for him? Maybe I want us to vote for David Maraga. Say whether you can vote for him or you won't vote for him. I want Kenyans to decide, because in the final analysis, it is the Kenyans who are going to decide. Does he has the following of the Gen Z? Because I've said that the next president must win the hearts and the minds of the Gen Z. That is where the election will be won and lost. Now, let us look at David Maraga's strength as a presidential candidate. What does he offer? What are the good things with him? Number one, in my view, is his fidelity to the Constitution. David Maraga is a man who follows the rule of the law. David Maraga is one person who believes in constitutionalism. I remember David Maraga would actually differ a lot with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's government when the government failed to actually follow or obey court orders. So this is one person who is very, very faithful to our constitution. He can uphold the constitution. So this is one person who is going to keep the oath of office, and when you look at it, then as a defender of the constitution, then he tick the box. The other issue about him is that this man is courageous. This man is bold. A very good example that can tell you that this man is bold, this man is principled, is the way he annulled the 2017 general elections. And Uhuru was mad with him. William Samoei Ruto was mad with him. And Raila betrayed him because Raila refused to participate in the repeat general elections. So when you look at him, these are the kind of leaders that this country need. This is the kind of person that the country needs. Somebody who is bold, who would make bold decisions without looking over his shoulders. One of the greatest problems of William Samoei Ruto is that William Samoei Ruto looks like he's very bold. That is the truth of the matter. But now when you look at the way he does his things, the way he appoints people, it tells you that William Samoei Ruto must keep on looking over his shoulders to see who is actually being happy with his decision, who is not happy with his decisions. And in the final analysis, he ended up having his friends who are actually not very good, if you ask me, as far as the policies or his dream or his manifesto is concerned, because they have not been implementing the constitution, they have not been implementing the manifesto, they have not been keeping the promise. And because William Samoei Ruto looks at loyalty, that's the difference between Maraga and William Samoei Ruto. The other reason is that The other strength of David Maraga is that this man is incorruptible. He has not been associated with any scandal. He is scandal-free. I don't know whether there is any known scandal that can be associated with David Maraga. I remember there was a time he was swearing by the moon and the sun and the stars that I have never taken a bribe. How many judges can stand? How many state officers can stand before the people, take the Bible, and say, I have never taken a bribe? Maraga did it. And the fact, even if they had been taking a bribe, it is not known. But the truth of the matter is he is incorruptible. And you know, one of the greatest problems facing this country is corruption. So when it comes to fighting corruption, I think this man takes the box. The other thing is his respect to institutions. He believed in independence of the judiciary. He believes that institutions should be left to work. I remember he advised Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to dissolve parliament. But Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta ignored him. You can see. Because he believes it was his work to advise the president. Because because parliament had not implemented the constitution fully as it was supposed to be, it was supposed to be dissolved. So when you look at it, he was playing his part, but the executive was not playing its part. Again, when you look at him, there's something I like about him. His calm demeanor. He is sober. He's measured. He's level-headed. And in a country where politics is the in thing, in a country where politics is the problem, by the way, one of the greatest problems in this country, many people don't like to talk about it, but it is early campaigns. William Samoei Ruto has been campaigning throughout. Everybody is on the campaign mode. Immediately we are done with the election, people start campaigning the following day. When you look at David Maraga, this man is very, very calm. He is composed. He is level-headed. He doesn't take alcohol. I'm not saying there's anything bad by taking alcohol. Wale ambao wanakunywa wakunywe. Bora tu wanajua kile ambacho wakifanya. Bora tu hakuna mtu ambaye ana ufika kutokana na mvinyo wao. Wabugie kabisa. So what we are saying here, ladies and gentlemen, that David Maraga, the fact that he is calm and level-headed and sober means that he's likely to make sober decisions. Again, he's very mature. Look at him. I don't expect Maraga to say some of these things that we have been hearing from our politicians. I don't expect him. He is very, very mature. Looks like a father of the nation. And that's when he ticks the box. Again, his religiosity. He's very religious. I remember there was a time, I think he refused to go to court because he was going to the church. He's a Seventh-day Adventist. His fidelity is also to his God. And this is very, very important. Because a person who believes in God truly cannot just kill children like we are saying. A person who truly believes in God cannot let blood be shed like that of donkeys or like that of dogs. Maraga, that one, I give him a tick. I'm not saying that his religiosity is very, very important as far as it's concerned, because state and religions are two different entities. In the country, it is not beholden by any religion. But the man who trusts in God, you see, in God we trust. That is the motto of the American government. And then this means that most of the decisions that he'll be making will be decisions that are likely to be acceptable. The man is very, very much principled. Much as we have so many boxes that we are ticking, no human being is perfect. He has some weaknesses. I don't know what they call them weaknesses, but I would call them areas that maybe people would raise issues or maybe would like to see them improve. Number one is that he lacks connections. When you look at the grassroots, his rapport with the grassroots, and the crowd, kuna walakini pale. When you look at somebody like Raila Amolo Odinga has grassroots connections. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has grassroots connections. If you look at Rigathi Gachagua seems to have grassroots connections. So not only the grassroots connection, but even in international connections. When you look at him, And he has been preferring town hall meetings instead of campaigning, instead of going to the ground. Kenyans are not used to this kind of politics. Though they may have some advantages and disadvantages, but Kenyans would like to see a president who is going to Uhuru Park, who is going to Kamukoji and addressing huge gathering. But that's not Maraga's cup of tea. The other thing is that when you look at his age, he's retired and he's looking for votes. And when you look at the Gen Z seems to be looking for somebody who is very, very energetic. I'm not saying that he's weak, but the truth of the matter is that at one point, age is likely to work against us. Remember Biden could not actually defend his seat because of his age. But when I look at Maraga is able to make decisions, not like Biden. But truth be told, age is not on his side. So even if he becomes the president, most likely he'll go for one term. Again, when you look at yesterday video, he alluded that he's not willing to spend more than 2 million, not from his pocket. So we can say that because he said he doesn't have money, he doesn't have financial might like William Samoei Ruto, like Raila Amolo Odinga, like Gachagua, and so on and so forth. So he is expecting Kenyans to fund his campaign. Well, this could be a good thing because it could actually minimize corruption, it could minimize so many things. It has its weakness, because what happens if Kenyans don't have the money? And Kenyans are crying. So this one, I don't know what he's going to do, but he needs to come up with a campaign that is well funded, because a campaign can suffer if it is not well funded. But when you look at the strength are so many for David Maraga. Is Kenya prepared for his presidency? Guys, that is my take. I don't know what you think about David Maraga, but from where I sit, it is Kenyans who are going to decide, and Maraga has offered himself to Kenyans. Bye-bye.